The gear most people pack for winter camping can actually get them killed. I'm Ian. I've done lots of camping in the brutal -20 plus, well, below that, winters of Canada's Northwest Territories. So today I'm going to share some winter camping secrets with you that separate survivors from statistics. So stick around, because what I'm about to show you could save your life. So most winter camping guides tell you to pack a sleeping bag, a tent, and warm clothes. That's the bare minimum you need, really. But when you're facing temperatures that can freeze your breath in seconds, basic gear won't cut it. I've guided tourists through frozen rivers, survived blizzards that shut down, in some places, entire communities. I've learned from indigenous peoples who've mastered winter survival for generations. So in the next few minutes, I'll reveal the 3 critical categories that 99% of winter campers, they get wrong. What's the first mistake everybody makes? Thinking bigger equals warmer. Wrong. So in the Northwest Territories, the locals, the indigenous population, they don't survive on bulk, they survive on smart layering. Let me show you the 3-layer system that kept me alive. You know, at times when I've been out camping as well, you know, those long polar nights, as well as they're called, you know, where we only get really any daylight between 11 a.m. and about 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So if you're out walking, hiking, you know, it can be quite a long time without daylight. So the first thing is a base layer. Merino wool, not cotton. Cotton kills in cold weather because it holds moisture. I learned this the hard way. My shirt nearly froze solid to my chest, so not good. When you're hiking hard and you're sweating a lot, that's not the way to go. So I'll show you on a mid-layer, synthetic insulation or down. Here's the secret, you need options. Too warm, remove it. Too cold, add another. Easy, eh? And the outer shell, that's your final layer, your weather bouncer as it's called. This isn't just about waterproofing. In winter wind, exposed skin can get frostbite in under 10 minutes or less even, depending. There's something called a wind chill there as well. So if it's -20 and the wind's blowing at, I don't know, -20 kilometers per hour, then that wind chill can drop down quite dramatically. And if you have skin exposed, you know, I've had frost nip on my ears as well because I didn't have a proper balaclava on as well. Now that's one step towards frostbite, but luckily I didn't get there. So I recognised it in time, but yeah, you've got to be really careful. But also, here's what they don't tell you as well. Your extremities fail first. So I've just mentioned my earlobes. I keep a German army wool blanket in my vehicle as well. I don't carry it with me when I go out hiking, but it's 70% wool, 30% synthetic. It's fire resistant, works when wet, and has literally saved, you know, lives when everything else has failed. Probably not my life, but you know, I've heard about other people that it's really helped and staved off, you know, what could have been a bad situation for them. Let's now talk about shelter systems that actually work. So here's the second deadly mistake: relying on just a tent. So when a blizzard hits you and your tent poles snap, what's your backup plan, really? Smart winter campers tend to use modular systems. The tent is great, but pair it with a quality tarp. I've rigged up tarpaulins as wind barriers, emergency shelters, and even reflectors to boost heat from campfires. Yes, they're great for that, as long as you don't get the tarp too close to the fire. So ground insulation is where people, you know, succumb to the cold if they're not careful. It can make for a very uncomfortable night's sleep as well. So the earth will tend to suck the warmth right out of your body. That's the way it feels. So you can use multiple sleeping bags, emergency blankets as ground barriers, and in extreme conditions, you can dig platforms in snow that create insulated sleeping areas as well. Always pack backup shelter material with you. A simple bivy bag can save your life if your main shelter fails. Remember, in winter camping, redundancy isn't paranoia, it's survival. And these simple bivy sacks, they can, you know, as I say, they can be quite simple, but you can get Gore-Tex ones as well, which are, you know, I've camped out just with a sleeping bag. Okay, it hasn't been -20, but I've camped out with a warm sleeping bag inside a Gore-Tex bivy bag, and it can be quite comfortable as long as you get the ground conditions right under you, and also a sleeping mat as well to insulate you from the ground. So here's the third critical area: fire starting in impossible conditions, or what seems like impossible conditions when you first start to make and get the fire going. So when it's -30 degrees or something like that and everything's covered in ice, your big lighter becomes pretty useless, really. So you need these backup and alternative ways to start a fire. So I tend to carry 3 different fire starting methods. You can have waterproof matches, a ferro rod, and petroleum jelly cotton balls. But here's the game changer. Learn to identify winter tinder. Birch bark works wonders even when wet, so learn to recognize trees as you're going through. Learn about trees before you even set off, really. What a birch looks like, and also other trees that's going to be a useful source of wood and fuel for your fire. So pine needles as well. I think we all know what pine trees look like. Spruce trees, they create excellent kindling, but here's the secret. Fat wood, as it's called, resin-rich wood that burns even in a blizzard. And that's that resin that can seep out of the wood, saturate the wood. You need to know where to look for it as well. So build your fire before you strike this first spark is good advice. In winter, you get one shot sometimes. So fumble around in the cold and your fingers start to lose dexterity. I pre-build TP structures and have everything ready. And what I mean by that is a TP structure made of wood, so the sticks are all in a little teepee basically, and then you can put kindling underneath as well and larger branches on top. So wind can be fire's enemy. It can also help stoke the fire and get it going as well. If it's going to be your enemy, you need to create windbreaks with logs or snow walls as well. Position your shelves so smoke doesn't fill your shelter area as well. So now for the advanced secrets that separate winter camping pros from weekend warriors. So modify your gear for extreme conditions. I wrap duct tape around my water bottles. It insulates it and provides an emergency repair material. You can pre-warm your sleeping bag with hot water bottle made from a sealed water container as well. It's always good to boil some water on your fire before the fire goes out after you finish cooking. Put on some water to boil, and then that will warm your sleeping bag for you as well. So a food strategy as well, that can change everything. Your body burns 30% more calories in extreme cold. So I like to pack high-fat, high-calorie food like nuts, energy bars with real ingredients, and hot drinks that warm you from the inside. Be organised, it saves lives. When your hands are numb, you need to know where to find your gear right away. I use colour-coded stuff sacks and always know exactly where my emergency items are located in my backpack. Here's the truth about winter camping as well. It's not about having the most expensive gear. It's about understanding how to use simple tools in smart ways. Now, I talked about the indigenous people of the Arctic. They've survived for thousands of years using basic materials and advanced knowledge. They live off the land. Thousands of years ago, they weren't able to go to the local store to buy stuff, so they had to learn what to use, the material around them, and they survived very well as well. I've shared some critical systems, but there's so much more to learn. If the video helped you see winter camping differently, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. In the comments below, tell me what's your biggest winter camping fear. I read every comment and often make videos based on your questions. So until next week, when I'll be revealing the winter emergency kit that saved my life during a blizzard that shut down an entire community. You won't want to miss that. Remember, in winter camping, there's no room for good enough. Your gear choices could literally be life or death decisions. Stay prepared, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. And don't forget to subscribe for more wilderness survival content. Check out these related videos on winter survival techniques that could save your life.